What a day. It was only yesterday I was thinking like, there's bound to be a boat that gets stuck on a sandbar here.
Holy crap. This morning we were dragging anchor and we were nowhere near the line. I could see the sandbar behind us. It could have been no further than 2 meters away.
It's always what you want and you always want a chance. Never gave me nothing but a cold hard glance. You're calling for some time. Time is what you need. Needing me for nothing but the air I breathe. So show me the way. It may be delayed. Must I behave? I'm so sick of running away. Like a kid with a video game. Spinning to the wheel on the words you say.
Welcome to an eventful week on Finding Avalon, a 38-foot boat in which 2 people are sailing the long way back to Australia.
After Battery Gate, we're quite stoked to be somewhere where we can just rock all day.
Tell me all the things.
Last week you joined us in the BVIs on Valentine's Day, no less.
Happy Valentine's Day, Jackson. I love you and I don't care who knows it.
We were quite keen to recharge our human batteries after much rigmarole with Avalon's batteries.
Wanna be adored, just like my father and my mother. I seldom gaze at the sunset, taking your beautiful colors. I often take for granted
For some reason our tri-data reset itself,
Yeah.
and when I went to it had us, for some reason it changed like the depths to feet and like the speed to kilometers and stuff. It deleted the preset that I'd put in there that takes into account the keel.
The keel length. So it tells you the exact meters, not the exact length, not the length under the keel. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So I'm driving around going, oh yeah, it's 2 meters, it's 2 meters under the keel.
Yeah, it's 30 centimetres. Oh dear. Oh well, that was a close call, wasn't it?
What?
What's the greatest thing about having a shower after we've anchored?
That generally the engine's been on, so the water's really warm.
We are on an island called Anegada, which is the only coral atoll in the BVIs. And today we were about to go to a place called Loblolly Bay, which is meant to be the best beach here. But it's extremely windy and extremely windy in Loblolly Bay. So yeah, so it's windy and well, you know what that means.
Here, round the sky reshapes forever. Let's meet 2 new friends who like pain nights. Yeah, my friends. They start of invasions of things that I will never imagine. Phrases like free to kiss in case we're falling lights. Jealous of girls with furs in dreams scream through the night. Never I know whose skies fall, and then we'll be together again. Gather your emptiness, together we'll flow, I guess, but we used to land.
look, we came back to a bit of a situation actually. We saw a boat quite far out on the edge of the anchorage, and Jackson looked over and said, I could swear those guys are on a sandbar. And yeah, on closer inspection they are, and they've got a charter boat and they're just resting on a sandbar and they're a little bit helpless. So I don't really know what we can do to help, but Jackson's just gone into town to ask some locals if they can come and give them a tow or something. It's really quite swelly and windy around here, and they've got kids on the boat and it'll be a horrible night for them. So really hope something gets sorted out. But yeah, I feel a bit useless. I don't know how. We really want to help them, but we don't know how we can. So yeah, we'll see what Jackson comes back with. Oh yay, look, people have come to help them. Oh, look, there they are. They've got a couple of people in dinghies come to the rescue. There's Jackson going over. So I presume Jackson deployed those guys.
What a day. It was only yesterday I was thinking, like, there's bound to be a boat that gets stuck on a sandbar here. When we were coming back from kite surfing, I said to Xanthe, I'm like, that's not our boat on the end, is it? Like, it's pointing a different direction. And Xanthe's like, no, Avalon's further in. I'm like, that boat's like 90 degrees to all the other boats. Like, pretty weird. So as we got closer, Xanthe was like, oh, they don't actually have an anchor out. I'm like, oh, they're not. I'm like, right, well, they're stuck on the sandbar. We dinghied over to them and asked them if they needed help, and they're like, yeah, we don't really know who to call. We're thinking we might call a charter company, which personally is probably the last thing I'd do, is call the person who you've just like,
who's gonna find you.
So I dinghy over to the lobster restaurant, and there's two guys at the bar. One of them's from Sunsail, the other one's from the Moorings charter company.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a boat stuck over there on the sandbar. Is there someone around here that can come and help them? And they both look at each other and go,
is it Sunsail?
yeah, they're like, is it one of our boats? And I'm like, I don't think it's Sunsail, and I don't think it's Moorings. Like, they come over with their dinghies, come and help. But I got it, like, don't get me wrong, they were doing a good job, but they didn't really have a strategy of how to get the boat off. I remember in our sea survival course or something, I remember them saying, like, when you run aground, depending on the conditions, like, you need to put your sails up to heel the boat over
the other way,
to get it, like, to, I guess, bring the keel up.
To kind of self-right itself.
Yeah, so I was saying to them, I'm like, guys, you need to put the sails up, and they're like, the guys from the charter companies were like, no, let's just push the boat, we'll push the boat. So we're pushing the boat for ages, but it wasn't really going anywhere. So finally they put the jib out, helped a bit, but once they put the main out, it really pushed it over. Just as we get that boat off, and they're off and going, we're sort of just escorting them up here, and then we notice another boat on the other side of the anchorage with one guy in a tender trying to push that boat.
Oh my god. Was this a monohull?
Yeah, another monohull, yeah.
Was it called Nikita?
No, that's Nikita just there.
Because Nikita, they were so close to crashing into us when you were over there.
Really?
They got in trouble, like they were trying to anchor in 30 knots of breeze, and they damn nearly fouled our anchor. And came so close to our bow. I was there with the keys ready to turn the engine on.
Me and one of the guys, because I upgraded dinghies as well.
Oh, you borrowed someone's dinghy?
Because the other guy from Sunsail had a 20 horsepower on the back.
Oh, I'm not going to hear the end of this now. You're like a rabid dog that's tasted blood now, and that's all. We're going to be getting a 20 horsepower engine. We're going to have to sell like one side of our boat.
We're cutting the trip short, and we're just buying a really high powered tender to get us here to
Panama. That is done.
No, Susie was doing well. Susie was doing alright, but
Susie's a good girl.
it just needed a bit more grunt. So Anyway, so I was ripping around the harbour with the 20. And I told the guy on the boat, I'm like, oh, come meet us over at the other boat that's stuck now. And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll bring your tender over. I was like, yeah.
Oh.
So then we went and started rescuing the other boat. But by then, 2 locals had come and they had like high-powered boats. And so they were doing a bit of an operation of like pulling the halyard down to get the boat on its side. And anyway, we got that boat off. So then I swapped our tenders back and I went over to Dennis.
Yeah.
And just to make sure Dennis was all right. He was the original guy we helped. And
Okay.
and he's like, Jackson, thank you so much, mate. You're a legend. We've got lots of beers on ice. Like, come over, we'll cook you lunch. And I'm like, oh, great. What's for lunch? And he's like, oh, we've had the best day. We caught the biggest fish. Like, we caught a giant fish.
Oh no, a barracuda.
And I'm like, oh, really? What kind of fish? And he's like, a barracuda.
Oh shit.
He's like, we're making a soup now. I'm really sorry, Dennis. I don't want to be the person that's like ruined your day, but
pisses on your bonfire.
But I could be the guy that saved you twice in one day. I don't think I'd eat barracuda.
They're the one fish that you wouldn't eat.
He goes, why can't you eat it? And I'm like, because it's ciguatera. So I was explaining to him about ciguatera, and I was like, you need to eat the pelagic fish, and like mahi and wahoo. And he's like, oh, maybe it is wahoo. He's like, we've got a photo. And I'm like, all right, show me the photo. And it was like a huge barracuda.
Well, beers with Dennis tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you're my hero.
Yeah, let's save 2 boats.
Yeah. Who said there's nothing to do in Anegada?
Yeah.
After seeing the anchorage transform into a circus, I went to double check our anchor.
Well, what was meant to be just a quick thank you beer with the Russians. Stop it! Turned out to be an entire afternoon of heavy vodka drinking. Oh my god. So we didn't know that they were Russian. I asked them within the first 5 minutes of conversation, where are you from? And one of them pointed to the hat. A lot of them didn't speak English. One of them pointed to his hat and went, we should have been able to tell by the 5 vodka bottles just lined up on the table. They chucked out the barracuda, thanks to Jackson. You saved their life. Stop yawning.
I'm drunk.
He's really drunk. They chucked
I
out,
saved their life twice today.
saved their life twice. Chucked out the barracuda because Jackson told them to. That's better. Yeah, so we got a souvenir. They insisted that Jackson get
They really insisted that I took this hat, this Russian hat. But, I mean, it was an awesome meal that they cooked us. It's just that they did it in like 5 different little servings, and between each serving you had to have 2 shots of vodka. And so I've had like 10 shots of vodka, and I don't drink vodka, I hate vodka.
So the most
I was being so polite by drinking it. And Xanthe was being so polite, she ate chicken soup.
They served this soup, and it wasn't just chicken, it was like the neck of the chicken. Like a
My
neck.
neck.
He was like, it gave me the creeps. But oh my god, man, the vodka thing was really cracking me up. So Jackson's not a huge drinker. Like he does drink, but he's not stalwart. And they offered us vodka or wine, and we both said wine, but Dennis was too busy yabbering on, and he thought that Jackson said vodka. So
No, he
Dennis's
corrected
wife,
me and said that the wine was for the women.
Oh, okay. Dennis's obliging wife, great host, poured Jackson a wine. So Jackson was just enjoying a wine, and the second round of vodkas for Dennis and his cousins came round.
What's so funny?
They poured neat vodka into Jackson's wine. Jackson over here was holding his own. I'm so proud of my man. I'm so proud of you. So
I mean, I don't know if that's the way. Like, if you've just rescued someone,
I was just about to say that.
You then make him drink like 10 shots of vodka.
They just every 5 minutes they were filling up Jackson's glass, going, "Thank you, you saved our lives." And he's like, "This is my thanks."
A nice beer. Thank you very much, Russian friends. Dennis, Dimitri, you successfully got me nailed.
Gave him something to do for the day as well. He was sitting here going, "Okay, Xanthe, I don't get it.
I don't have anything to do today."
White sand beaches, turquoise water, like, it's pretty, but what do we do? They gave you something to do.
Yeah, so I've had a full day. I went kite surfing, rescued 2 boats, and then smashed like a bunch of vodka and chicken neck.
All in a good day's work.
Now I'm gonna go watch The Office.
Yeah, so I think tonight we're gonna keep it pretty low key. What do you want for dinner?
Vodka.
Vodka, good. I was feeling the same thing. Great minds think alike.
Very sunny.
Good night, babushka. Holy crap. So this morning we were dragging anchor and we were nowhere near the line. I could see the sandbar behind us. It could have been no further than 2 meters away, and we were freaking out. I just started cooking breakfast. So I had to rush out onto the bow with my nightie blowing everywhere. Like, everyone got an eyeful of everything. And so we're just heading off a bit early. And I'm just going to finish making breakfast and tell you a story about the Russians. Oh shit, okay. Oh my god, okay. Alright, do you want me to let it down?
Yeah.
Well, that was a rainy, windy, crazy, swelly sail.
Not fun.
We didn't have much fun. So, look, I haven't filled you in on the whole story. We are really hungover today. The Russians came back after we chatted to you last night, and they knocked on our home and said, "We've got some more vodka." And yeah, so we had to carry on drinking neat vodka with them. Really cute though, they got us a lobster each. So that was a lovely surprise. But
Delicious.
I got drawn into the neat vodka thing, and yeah, I think I'm secretly Russian because I did pretty well, I think. And I don't feel that bad today.
I feel horrible.
He feels horrible.
I would have had like half a bottle of vodka.
I think you had a whole bottle because there was 4 bottles and 4 men. I think Jackson had easily had a whole bottle of vodka last night.
And they don't ask.
Oh yeah.
Like, my cup is getting more and more full of vodka.
Yeah. Back at the best place ever, the beach we came to on Valentine's Day. I'll link that episode below if you haven't seen that one, but I really like it here. And Jackson has unfinished business here. There's a few fishies he wants to check in with, so we might have a fish on the table tonight. We only had a couple of days remaining in the BVIs and we chose to spend them on the beautiful island of Jost van Dyke.
I've got a pile of gold hidden out.
We anchored next to our friends on sailing vessel Mac, who had just arrived from St Martin. Ben and Jess are an Australian couple doing the exact same thing as us. We hung out with them in Almerimar for 2 weeks when we were both prepping our boats for the Atlantic crossing. And we loved them.
And think of the things I should say when I'm with you.
They were pretty keen to show off their new dinghy, Fleetwood. She's a ripper.
When I looked, I realized.
Welcome to the Bubbly Pools, a rock pool with a channel leading out to the open ocean, which makes the water very, well, bubbly.
So we took it to the vat, and they opened up her side. And when they took the tumor out, it was flowering. I rubbed the thought of you between my fingers like dried up glue.
We fancied a good old Aussie barbecue that night for dinner and found a perfect beach for it.
You can die but
Fleetwood showed up too, along with Ben and Jess.
on a screen and on a line, you'll be flowering.
Ben and I are going to have some veggie patties which I made up. A bit of chickpea, tomato, ginger.
Very environmentally conscious.
Yeah, I just did a little quick blitz with the blender. So they're really nice. And the girls are having just a shitty beef patty.
Yeah, we hate the world.
It's quite funny actually. Xanthe's been a really religious vegan for a while. Until she started seeing goats today. And then she said, I want to eat meat. So that's why the boys are having the veggie ones and the girls are having the meat.
Thank you. Are you excited, Jess?
I'm looking forward to it.
Wonder if I ever see my ending.
Then the sad day arrived where we had to say goodbye to our mates and the BVIs.
That's it. Off to Panama. Caribbean islands, I mean, that's it. Unfortunately, we had to chop Puerto Rico off the agenda. Unfortunately, Puerto Rico was just turning out to be too much of a hassle. It was going to be too expensive and wasn't really going to be the trip we wanted it to be. So we're going to make our way down to Panama. We're going to head to Shelter Bay Marina, which is actually entry to the canal, where we'll start the process of organising our canal transit. We'll hang out down that way for about 5 days and then make our way up to Port Lindo, where we'll meet my sister and my best mate Mitch, and we'll take them up to the Sandbars Islands. The reason we're doing it that way around is we wanted to cut down time waiting in Panama for our transit. So we figured we'd get the admin done early and then head up to the sandblast while that was all getting processed and our agent secures our transit time. But it is really sad to be leaving the Caribbean so early, really. We'd love to be spending another few months here and then do a whole nother season, but unfortunately we've got some things to do. Snorkeling every day and exploring some really nice reefs, and I think the people are generally pretty nice. I like all the different cultures, every island being so different. Really easy sailing in general, like just little 20 to 30 mile passages between all the islands, so, you know, really nice little day trip. And every island's just been so different, like every island has something different to offer. Really nice to be kiteboarding again. But the diving, I think the diving was some of the best we've had. And when I say the best, I just mean like the variety of different spots. Yeah, I guess we'll have to come back.
Thanks as always for joining us this week. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and say a big hell yeah to our patrons who made this whole thing possible. We actually made a special day in the life episode for our patrons when we were in Anegada to show our appreciation. If you want in on goodies like that, then why not consider becoming one of our patrons? You may even get the chance to win a trip on board. Join us next week for 7 days across the Caribbean Sea to Panama, where we conclude the battery saga.